perfect conditions. We'll head down to Glenn Jakovich shortly. They came into this 2nd and 5th on the AFL ladder and were underway. Jolly against Jacobs, Pendlebury an early touch, Thompson a touch but not a clearance. Sloan, who's been in hot form, gets that clearance. Little tap toward the boundary by Keith Clever, and he is arguably the most improved player in the competition this year, Lachlan Keith. Collingwood not happy he hasn't been nominated for a NAB Rising Star award for a round yet, but it may well come. He's one of their new hot properties back into play. O'Brien a little touch, Pendlebury. Massive players around the ball as we expect early in games, especially with games with so much on it. And we'll get another ball up as we head downstairs to the two-time premiership star, Glenn Jakovich. Welcome, Jacko.
Welcome. Thanks, Dwayne. Fantastic conditions down here. A little bit slippery, cold, 16 degrees, but looking forward to this contest. Two informed teams in the competition. This is going to be cracking hot pace this first quarter.
Yeah, absolutely. Sloan gets it from Dangerfield. Dispossessed. Could have been ball. It was ball and not play on advantage. They are two of the hottest teams in the competition. If you're unaware, both these teams have won their past 5 games in a row coming into this. To the wing. Cloak attacks his first ball, can't gather. Yench does to Doughty. Floats a little. Maxwell got there with a fist. Dangerous. Vince. The cold hero here at Amy Stadium. Tuvey. Side bottom. Tuvey. Try to show some poise early. Tuss. Doughty. Dragged down. Goldsack. Put him into the dirt. Thomas. Tuvey. Tough ball to be winning right now. And they are two of the best contested possession teams in the comp this year. Van Berlo turnover for Solo. Flick on. Blair to Sinclair. Open forward line. Cloak peeling back to the square. Sinclair might go alone. Feeds it inboard. Pendlebury, arguably the best player in the comp, and that's wide. Cool head and finds Shaw.
If you saw Sinclair then bouncing up the ground, see how he had to slam it in? I went for a walk out in the ground before. Jacko, I reckon this is the softest surface these boys would have played on this season so far. It's not desperately soft, but it's something they're unaccustomed to right about now.
Yeah, you're right, Dermot, and well done by Sinclair because he's just prepared himself well, knowing that he really had to punch it into the ground.
Big kick to settle the nerves. Never in doubt.
I thought initially Sinclair made a bit of a blue, Dermot, because he did have, you look here down the bottom here, he's actually got Cloak running back into the forward 50, and that's a good push, you know, as a forward, if you can get that ball over the top. But having said that, he doesn't kick it, then makes a really smart decision to give it to Pendlebury, who is probably the best decision-making midfielder in the competition, and a really nice kick from Pendlebury. But that kick over to Cloak's a really dangerous kick too, Dermot.
What's dangerous about it too, if he breaks sideways, that's a really easy kick to spot up as well.
Petrenko. Not coming off his best game either. Jared Petrenko, just 5 kicks last week, so he'll need to find some form. Jacobs. And ball. Gee, that was hot.
Just trying to look at some matchups too. I think Daisy Thomas has got Dangerfield. I'm sure it's not a hard tag. Maybe they're trying to run off Dangerfield a bit, as they start to do with some of those more creative midfielders.
What a mouth-watering head-to-head that is, though. Shaw swings it wide to Clark. Needs Tomoda to get there. Wide. And getting back beams takes the mark. Also been in the best form of his career, averaging 28 possessions per game. Dane Beams. Called to go. Puts it up for Cloak if he can get there. And Dawes almost stole that from everyone. Blair slips it up, side bottom. We know he can find a goal, and that's allowed to roll through. Well played, Thomas. Collingwood have the first 2.
And we saw that was Thomas sneaking off. Just mentioned Dangerfield before Thomas. Here's the free in the middle. And he's obviously called for pulling the ball out of the ruck. So that's the way the rule is. He's got to get rid of it. But here we see down the bottom of the screen, even though side bottom's got a nice crumb there, it's Daisy Thomas got to mark that on the goal line. So Dangerfield's going to have to be really careful with Thomas running forward on him tonight.
Nick Maxwell on the bench at the moment, the captain for Collingwood, the two subs. Jamie Elliott, the first gamer, one of two first gamers for Collingwood tonight. Marley Williams also in for his first game, and Douglas, the sub for Adelaide, who want to get going quickly. Dangerfield kicks inside 50. Callanan to right, outside of the foot, and gets it to bounce right.
Yeah, well, we're going to talk about Dangerfield throughout the night, just the centre clearances, because he's been really effective in that area of the game. You watch it here, you see him just sneaking around the back there, just gets it, and a quick kick out.
Says you could gather it by one hand, isn't it?
Really dangerous kick, Dermot, too, that. Just that helter-skelter ball coming into your forward line from a centre bounce. Very hard for defenders.
Straight onto the phone. Patrick Dangerfield.
Yeah, I think
and Wright
Dwayne,
on the bench as well, the two men instrumental in that goal.
I think, Dwayne, maybe the message is about Daisy Thomas. I mean, coaches are obviously quick to pick that up, so I would suggest a quick message just to say you've got Thomas, he's a real dangerous player, Dermot, and maybe just a quick message to slightly adjust his game.
Yep, because he can hurt you the other way.
Yep.
And just talking about the interchange, both sides are really using their rotations heavily in this early 5 minutes.
Not a message you want to run out rather than bring a player off to deliver?
Might have been a rotation anyway,
yep.
Dwayne, so...
Slick hands, Callanan. Thompson just pops it inside 50. Wasn't the kick he wanted, Keefe. He found that boundary line moments ago. He's done it again, and the umpire said toss it in.
That's the correct decision. That would have possibly been the worst decision I've ever seen if he had got kicked for that.
With a sea of faces called for a Derm. What a fantastic crowd here at AAMI Stadium for this. First kick there for Marley Williams, played in the NAB Cup. Many people saw him unveiled in the NAB Cup. This is his first go, and he takes it to the line in a real home and away game.
Now this is where these two teams are. Adelaide plus 22 from their opposition. They rank first in the league. Collingwood third. They're plus 9 on their opposition each game they play.
Tippett took it out of the ruck.
And this season, Dwayne, has never before have we seen a better illustration between contested possession, winning that stat, and winning games.
Well, they have really become a contested possession winning team, Adelaide, because they haven't been that for a number of years now. And they've become very, very good at it in a short space of time. New coach at the helm, of course. Dowdy couldn't make something of that. Goldsack likewise. Threw some legs, side bomb, Slick. Wellingham took possession. Beams took possession, dispossessed. Straight through Didak. Almost did give a free away for too high. Alan Didak, the Paraka boy, back home to SA. Just game 3 for him for 2012. Also wants to find some of his best form. Riley across his defensive goal to Rutten.
He's such a super important player for them, Didak. It's really good to see him back in the team, and he'll take 2 or 3 weeks to get his fitness, his AFL fitness. He's obviously played some games in the VFL, but he's a super important player for them.
Tippett drifts up. Now he's got the problem of a target forward.
Jack Bryant cut it off, took it to the line. And have a look at this crowd here.
It's a cracker, isn't it?
Everywhere you look, it's a fantastic sight. Awe-inspiring sight here at AAMI Stadium. Beams caught high through some traffic. Crowd here wanted ball. Neither call in the end, and John Cox swoops at half forward. Open forward line. Race on. Petrenko, the boundary line. Boundary line too quick for him.
I really like that move, Dermot, too, of John Cox forward. He gives him 2 really dangerous. Petrenko seems to be playing more as that defensive forward. Dwayne, you mentioned he didn't have many possessions last week, but he's got Shaw. Shaw's already snuck away from him for a goal, but he generally plays that role pretty well.
Sloan to John Cox, slips a tackle. Un-Collingwood-like. Through some traffic, Riley. Bumped on the kick, and Keefe with the safe hands. Everybody takes a breath. Heads wide. Tippett.
That's a great result for Collingwood.
Clark. Pendlebury. Didak can get and go. Had to wait. And now he's off and he pumps it long to the square. Another race on. Dribbling ball. Goldsack too clever. Collingwood get their third.
Too clever, too strong, too experienced in the body then. Now, if they go out, watch this. Now, watch this contest. See 3 Adelaide Crows players, 1 Collingwood going forward. It is Cloak, seriously outnumbered at that contest, yet they bring the ball away. And I just made that mini interjection on you, Dwayne, saying this is a big win. But if you're outnumbered there, it means you must have numbers somewhere else. In a foot race, Brodie Smith runs way faster than Goldsack, but the body strength to push him over is vital.
Well, that was the kick that we talked about before that Sinclair didn't do, and not that Sinclair made the wrong decision in the end, because Pendlebury ended up getting to shore, but that's how dangerous that kick over the top is to a forward running back to goal.
Dawes in the ruck now for Collingwood. Blair had a long time to spend it. Thompson, the full forward to Tippett. 2 grabs.
Gee, look big. Some blokes, we were talking before off air, Roosie, about how tall's this bloke or that bloke. And say, is he 6'2", 6'4"? Some blokes are big and just... Tippett's a 6'6", but he's a big 6'6" as well. And when you see that replay, look at how big his body looks over the top of the pack. From in front, he just looked massive.
And he's prepared to jump and launch at it too, which makes it even more intimidating.
This is the hard part of the assignment for him.
2 best contested marks in the comp playing tonight. Travis Cloak is number 1. And Kurt Tippett's number 2.
Well, that's the second centre clearance that's resulted in a goal for Adelaide Crows. So it's certainly something. Hasn't been a lot of finesse about them. I think this was Thompson here, a bit of a scramble in the middle of the ground. Scrubby old handball, good tackle. And we'll see it here. Really nice. Well, pleasing. This is a scrubby kick forward. That's the second time that's happened. Putting the defence of the Collingwood under pressure. And Tippett, he will launch. He will jump, and he's a very honest forward when it comes to making a contest. Nice mark, and then a good finish.
Big strong mark by Kurt Tippett. He's getting double teamed by Harry O'Brien and Maxwell. On that occasion he had Keith as his opponent, but good to inject himself early in the game, win the mind battles and take a contested mark.
Quick hack forward by Beams to half forward. Henderson, fresh air shot at it.
Had to get it.
Dawes flicks it up. Blair outside of the boot.
Henderson
got behind of the game.
Henderson has to affect that footy. If he's going to jump and leave a dangerous crummer like that, he's got to sink a fist in it that clears the area. The ball's got to go 20 away.
Thompson heads wide. Talia and Dawes too strong. That's a big job for Talia in game 18. Shaw. Collingwood by 7. Harry O. Bumped on the kick. Thomas.
If we pull away... Oh, here we go, into the pocket.
Cloak.
Not ready for a swing out onto the left foot here. No one's really encroaching on him.
First chance to settle. Have a good cider and a deliberate shot to the booze. Swings out a little. Can't bring it back enough. Hasn't got the distance, and that's a good mark in defence by Jenkins.
See that, Jacko? That really drifted right to left down there across the goal face. Is there wind blowing from there?
Yeah, there is. It just circles in that pocket. He probably just had to keep it a little bit lower, but I don't think he got right onto it.
Splendid tackle by Tippett. Allowed Van Burlen to pump it to half forward, and poor Pleasure on the run. Maxwell got there before him, read it well. Shaw, slight fumble. Marley Williams has looked good in game 1. A little too wide that time for Pendlebury.
That is, a lot of people have a go at Nick Maxwell and say, oh, he's a captain, but gee, he's nowhere near the great players that they have. That's why he's captain. That leadership then, he left his man to be the second or third man in and have an effect on that contest It goes back in Collingwood's direction. Adelaide don't score.
Sinclair attacks that hard. Clark had it but dropped it as he was tackled. Dangerfield to right to Henderson.
This is a tough one.
Tippett, one-on-one. Slipped through his grasp. Maxwell are right with him now, and this is his forte. He swoops on the crumb. Harry O'Brien slams that ball into the turf. As you mentioned, Derm, it's a little soft, but the players are ready for it for Solo. Riley should go. Does. Can't mark it. Dangerfield. Dangerous spot. There'll be handballing. Sinclair made it his. Shoots it back. Blair. Not sure what he was doing there, but whatever it was, it didn't really work.
Not a lot of subtlety shown by Blair there. He's about as subtle as Dog the Bounty Hunter. He's taking a shot with a torpedo.
Massive players around this ball in. Dangerfield. Thompson. Caught and dropped it.
Even that one with Dangerfield, the fact that he's a good purchase on him with the tackle, but stands up through it.
Dermot, just going back to your comments about Nick Maxwell before that early inside 50, how he just backed into Kurt Tippett. He knew his body size was smaller, but he had to back in real hard. It was just great work that he did.
Yeah, super.
Slipped past Dangerfield that time. Thomas. Beams. Pendlebury. He dropped that. So too did Thompson.
Ooh, below the knee or above?
On the knee, according to the boundary umpire. Must be below the knee to be deemed a kick for those new to the game, and there's plenty up north. Might be sampling it for the first time. You've picked a good one.
Collingwood got an extra one 30 metres down the line here. It'll go to him almost.
Keith. Tippett just caught behind there. Buckley.
Oh, that's dangerous.
Okay. Caught and dropped it. Yench mopped up his mess. Got it from Smith and then heads wide. Henderson. Shaw. A race. And a roar from the crowd. They're up for this, the crowd.
He's a really smart player, Shaw. He knew he couldn't do much then, but all he did do was turn around, jump up in the air.
Put his arms up.
Put his arms up. It really didn't give away a free kick, just really, really smart
The
football.
important thing there is he didn't engage with the player. He just kept it alive.
Yeah. Blocked the sight, the line of sight for the opposition.
Side bottom to Sinclair with the side of his boot. Smith. Riley. Sloan. Callanan thumped away from Callanan by Buckley. Another chase. Boundary line looming. Callanan with the foot and bangs it to half forward nicely on the deck. Petrenko's ball. Shaw again. He just hunted his way to the front. Buckley. Sidebar.
The problem, Buckley, the error he made then is when he first approached the footy, and we talk about running in a direct line with the footy, he ran slightly to the side to pick it up one-handed, which just gave a target zone to the trailing Adelaide player. Callanan swooped on it, slid into it, but went head first, all legal.
O'Brien handballs to Daisy Thomas. Couldn't make something of it. Scott Thompson, likewise, couldn't do what he wanted to do with it. Harry O gives it up. Vince. Thompson. Maxwell. And they're away on the open side, Collingwood. Thomas looks up. He has Clark running hard. Not a lot to go to now long. He's got Maxwell again with a short. He does go long and turns it over. Henderson couldn't mark it though. For Solo with the flick back.
Went hard, Maxwell.
Yeah, and Dwayne, that's what Adelaide have been doing well. You called, there was an outlet. There was two Collingwood outlet players when they switched the ball there, but Adelaide have been fantastic in defensive transition, and they get across faster than any other team, stopping Collingwood from taking that ball outside the wing there.
Jenkins not quite. Callanan slipped and out of play. Callanan, there's Jenkins on screen. Been a good pick-up. Basketballer that's come to our game. Back into play, and Jenkins does the ruck work again. Callanan off his toe. Blair handballs it toward Maxwell and the line. Had the option. Pendlebury. Well read. Cloak couldn't gather on the run. Riley. Back to half forward. Van Berlo plays on immediately. Little wide of the goal square. And Petrenko couldn't attempt the mark. It's out of play.
Interesting to see the stat sheet on Paddy Dangerfield. 7 possessions, 7 of them contested possessions. Everything he's got so far has been hard-earned.
Jenkins again, side by side with Jolly, neither get near it. Maxwell. McKay tries the centering ball. Callanan dives. Collingwood, one of the clubs that Callanan went to and asked to train there, and they knocked him back. He's been knocked back by a few. Adelaide giving him the last chance, and hasn't he taken that? He couldn't take that one. Maxwell. Dangerous spot. Knocked 15 the call. Pendlebury couldn't fool the umpire into giving it.
Oh, good evasion.
Blair to Beams. Goldsack.
That's actually a clever kick. If you're going to miss, you don't miss by putting it behind the leading player's head so it can be spoiled. So right now, if he plonks that on Goldsack's head and it gets turned over in that part of the ground, you're in a world of danger. But he puts it out in front, gives him a chance to run onto it. If it doesn't, it goes out.
Wellingham scrambles a kick towards the wing. Riley punts it back. John Cock manhandled Turvey, although the crowd thought Turvey manhandled John Cock. Callanan can't keep it in.
How was that not a free kick? Leighton. Who had that one? Matt Stevich had that.
It's a wrestling match.
And the ball only entered the screen late.
Paul Pleasure, slick. Vince, clever. Squeezes it just past Tippett. Still alive though, Tippett. Callanan tried the banana, but when you kick it that hard, it doesn't often bend.
Everything's under pressure at the moment, isn't it? It's just a fantastic high-pressure game. There's been very few really out in the open, uncontested free possessions. Everything they're getting is under pressure. Even that kick looked like Callan was going to have an easy shot at goal. All of a sudden, bang, gets closed down and gets tackled as he kicked.
Mighty slick hands by Matt Wright, I think it was too, in the forward pocket.
Gee, that's a good pluck from Tippett. Another contested mark. Might even overhaul Travis Cloak tonight on the contested mark. Glad of the way he's going to John Cock. Almost a contested mark. Buckley. Beams. Pendlebury.
It's a good outlet player, Pendlebury. He just finds a little patch of grass in the back pocket so frequently where they just lay the ball off to him.
O'Brien. Tough one to mark. Goldsack has that task. Henderson. Riley. Look out for Solo. He's got Didak if he wants him. He goes to Goldsack, who has Didak. Running to the square. Smith there. Didak. Smith. Didak. Smith. Didak takes him on to the pocket. Central ball. Side bottom. He spilt that. Dawes dragged down. Players have barely had time to think in this game. Smith hacks it towards the boundary. Blair takes it to the line. It started at fever pitch, this game, and it's just got even bigger.
Great work by Smith, just going here one-on-one, but he didn't overcommit. He just corralled him to the boundary line and didn't slip over.
Well, he had the
Should have
pace
taken that mark.
yeah, Jacko, he had the pace to cover him if he did try and put a step on him.
Talia just got a kick away. Poor pleasure.
Bit of handwork there, let off.
Beans is getting plenty of it. Possession 6. To the square. Flick down, front spot, collision. Both these teams have loved their collision footy this year. It's death before dishonour kind of football right now.
Just watching Ricky Henderson, he just got a knock by one of his own teammates when Kurt Tippett took that mark from that kick in. Did suffer a concussion earlier on in the season, so I'll just keep tracking him, boys.
Yeah, it took a while to get up, Jacko.
Sinclair rolled it forward. Dawes coming the wrong way. Sloan couldn't take it over the line. Didak. You heard the call, not 15 for Solo. Gathered, but was gathered. Blair, Petrenko, look away handball, that works. Callanan Johncock needs to get the skates on here. It went out regardless. You had 2 to beat.
That was a great kick. Hey, Jacko, given the way this game's played right now, if you were in one of these teams, which team would be the bigger, more powerful midfielder you'd say you get more protection from?
I'd say, yeah, still Collingwood.
Callanan extracts another ball. Shaw went to the line there. Interesting one for the umpire. He's gone here.
Just a bit too hard, a handball then.
You just sense there's not going to be a lot of end-to-end stuff tonight, is there? The transition of both teams is so good. It's very hard to move the ball from one end of the ground to the other.
Good presentation.
Tippett couldn't mark. Johncock slaps on. Jenkins, couple of possessions for his trouble. Handball not so good, so he mops up his own mess. Attacked it nicely. Johncock took a while to collect it. Flick back. Jacobs shows some poise. And now Smith, all the way from defence, bangs it long from off the mat. Outside 50 and scores a level.
That was great play from Big Jacobs there, because whilst everything around him's been really chaotic, and here's to see the deliberate here. I mean, he had to handball it that way, but probably didn't have to handball it that hard. I'm not sure where else he could have gone, though. But where everything else is chaos around, watch Big Jacobs. Hopefully we get a look at it here. He could have easily just bombed the ball forward like everyone else has been doing, but he squared it up. Absolutely magnificent vision from the big fella.
With touch. Didn't have enough time to get the ball spinning correctly, but he put the right depth on the footy.
And Reece, you mentioned about Sam Jacobs, fantastic week last week. Recorded 16 headouts to advantage against the Blues, the most recorded by any player in any game this year. So certainly an effective ruckman.
Absolutely. You saw the tackle count as well, 20-16 Adelaide's way. Buckley, Beams, side bottom, feeds it wide. Clark on the run. Inside 3 minutes to quarter time. Thomas takes it and takes off. Heads a little wide. Pendlebury, manhandled. Rutten tried to fend off. Ball in.
The Dangerfield-Thomas matchup's been pretty interesting, Durham, because you mentioned out of Dangerfield's 7 disposals, 7 have been contested.
Yeah.
Daisy's troubling a little bit more on the outside, isn't he? So if they can control him on the inside, Dangerfield, that could be a bit of a worry for the Crows.
Slap to the ear or the shoulder of Maxwell, free kick.
He's having a good quarter.
Fist. Petrenko can't pounce. Shaw was there waiting. Blair. Sloan. Pendlebury in there. Blair steals it back of the pack. Sold that dummy and shorts it. Wellingham plays on immediately. Clark hasn't kicked a goal all year since coming back to Collingwood. Still hasn't.
Be interesting to see the strategy for the kick in. They laboured it before. Yeah, they're just going for possession. They're not willing to risk a 50-50 and get it 65 out.
Heath Shaw in the hands of the trainer from that earlier contest with Petrenko, just a little bit groggy at the minute.
Thanks, Jacko. Poor pleasure. Took a while. Took too long.
And just on the Dangerfield-Thomas matchup, Dangerfield's only had 3 kicks, but he hasn't had an effective kick yet at all. So it's a good effort there, but is that Rutten working his way to the front? He's just been a really good defender, Rutten, hasn't he, for many, many years. Been really good at his body work and generally doesn't get caught out that often in the one-on-one contest.
Vince wide to half-back. Tippett, another contested mark. Crowd on at 50.
No one on the mark.
Jenkins on the run. Can he gather? Half forward, tries to fend off. Clark wrapped him up. And we'll get a ball in, but he's a great mature pickup.
Let's have a look at this. Contact there. That's a good driving tackle. Totally legal. Got him just under the bottom rib.
Dying seconds of the opening term. Dangerfield. Right, Shaw, both attacked it. 35 seconds left. Ball in.
Well, they'll be trying to set something up here for a stoppage. maybe a block on, one of their dangerous small forwards. Looking for Johncock here, or even a Dangerfield.
Right clear to Yench. Hacks it back to full forward. Tippett can't mark this one. Pounces on the crumb.
Throw.
Umpire's deemed to throw.
Just watch that boundary line throw in. Daisy Williams stood next to Dangerfield and virtually pushed him into the contest and stays 5-6 metres outside. So he gives him free run at winning the ball. So he's relying on the work of Beams and Sidebottom and those fellas on the inside.
Crowd don't know the silence about the sound. I think they're about to go inside 50. But it's one of those games
I'll take it.
you love to come to. Full house, and Jenkins has had a crack at the torpedo.
It's a good kick. It's
Barely a
good kick.
spare seat in the house, and the game is living up to all expectations. Collingwood lead at quarter time. 3-2, 20. 3-1, 19.
Last week, but Darren Jolly had 4 in that first quarter to Sam's 1, and just a bit of slight drizzle is just starting to fall, so in this titanic battle could play a factor later on this evening.
Don't worry, we're getting you an umbrella.
He's tougher than that, Glenn Jakovic. He's not an umbrella kind of guy. Second term underway, and it's been that kind of game. Not for the faint-hearted so far.
Paul Pleasure came in off the centre square having a look back at some footage and just did a really, really important role into Pendlebury to set up a goal in first quarter.
O'Brien with the fist down, left it behind though. Van Berlo squeezes it in the direction of Tippett, and he takes the mark. 45 out, and he has this kick to give the Adelaide Crows the lead for the first time tonight.
I think if you're a defender tonight, Dermot, you've got to be prepared for those quick kicks. You can't hesitate for a split second because there's not a lot of sort of outside ball. So any time a player gets it 50, 60 metres up from ground, expect a quick kick coming in.
That's near on impossible to defend. Yeah, Michael Holding didn't go back that far, but he used to get him sort of off stump, thereabouts.
Gee, hit it sweet. Adelaide Crows in front.
Well, generally I'm not a fan of defenders playing from behind because it's so difficult, because you tend to lose your man. But on a night like tonight, it may be the defenders having to adjust. We can see here, just picked up quick kick. Now, the only way you can defend that ball coming in is if you are in front. And I don't think it's natural for defenders to do that, because you like to be able to push your player to the boundary line or work with your ruckman or extra defenders. But I suggest maybe the defenders are going to have to make an adjustment tonight to play a little bit more from in front.
Keefe has got such long levers, probably feels more comfortable playing from behind, and he can lean over with a spoil, so it'll probably take him out of his comfort zone should he get directed to play in front.
Beams bangs it long. Cloak gets back. Rutten just got a knuckle on that. Slaps it toward the boundary line. He's good at that.
Yeah, I think
just
you're right
any bit
there.
of skin you can get on it.
I think you're right there. Not many defenders play. Even here, you can see Rutten is in front. It's a very, very uncomfortable position for a defender. But with balls coming in so quickly out of stoppages, most of the time they go to advantage forward that is in front.
Yeah.
Van Berlo, Jacobs, Sloan. Attacked it nicely, but almost turns it over. He does. Tamale Williams. First gamer banks it toward Thomas.
Interesting too. Some of the great marks of our time have been taken on some of the all-time great defenders because they play in front, and they actually concede that for one of the great marks that happens once every 2-3 years, I'm willing to give that up to play in front.
No, you're absolutely right. I remember Kappa taking a specky on Langford. I remember Gary Ablett on Gary Pert, because both those defenders were able to play from in front.
All-time great defenders.
Yep.
Doughty, one of Adelaide's all-time greats. Sloan ducked into that.
Good umpiring.
Yeah, absolutely. And he won't get a free here for ducking, even though he was caught high. Penalty wrapped up by Doughty.
I've got to think, is that Geordie? Jordan Bannister's controlling down there at the moment?
Ex-AFL player among the umpires tonight. Matt Stevick, Simon Meredith, Jordan Bannister. Jolly. Good spot for a ball up. Pendlebury. Thomas tries to squeeze it through. Dangerfield didn't want to rush it. Poor pleasure.
Oh, that's a clever kick.
O'Brien. Now there's a hole. It's going to be Adelaide's ball.
That is a really clever kick. That is the equivalent in AFL circumstances of the Gary Owen from Rugby Union. He just gave that hang time so a crowd could gather under it.
Tippett crashes that contest. Pendlebury. Beams. Having a big night at the office. Williams. 60-metre bomb. Thomas. He stayed down. He could have gone up for the big hang. Riley. Ridden. Thomas might reap the reward in the end. He can't pounce on this. For Solo.
That's got to be
he had
for Solo.
prior, surely. Gone.
If there's one thing you wanted to start with his game, he does have a touch of the selfishness about him. He's so creative, but he goes overboard a bit.
Maxwell was directing traffic there. He probably should have concentrated on getting the ball.
So he was always going to head to goal. Saw the second in the end he just gave up.
He was in the headlock there.
Pendlebury, side bottom, kickable by his standards. And that's not normally his standard.
To tell you what, if we have another look at that ball up, great hit by Darren Jolly. Really, really impressive down to Pendlebury wrapping round. And as Pendlebury normally does, he finds the right option. And side bottom is normally a really efficient kick for goal, so he'd be bitterly disappointed by that. But a great effort by Jolly down to Pendlebury.
Jacobs just didn't hold it long enough. Pendlebury again, creating havoc. Beams, lucky.
Now the kicking, it went to a 2-on-2, which means if the ball spills, there's a lot of space for a gather. You elude one player, your direct opponent. You're not running into traffic of 3 or 4 others, so you get to spot up the kick. That's the danger with going long to those 1-on-1s, 2-on-2 contests. Kick gets back into Pendlebury. He puts it lace out for Beams, who almost coughs it up, but ends up with the shot.
Possession number 14 coming up. The Dane Beams makes the umpire do some dancing, but it's there. Collingwood back in front.
And here's Darren Jolly here. Watching here, this was earlier on. Really good body work, lovely hit down there. And that's just really good ruck work. And midfield decision-making is Scotty Pendlebury. Watch him again here. Now, this is where he sets up the goal. He doesn't waste any possessions. You'd love to have the ball. If you're Nathan Buckley and you have to pick one player out of your own team to have the ball, I'll tell you what, it'll be Scotty Pendlebury every day of the week. Good finish by Beams as well.
And Josh Jenkins for the Crows, just getting a little bit work done on his hip. Now just going into the deep in the forward line. So just monitor that for you guys.
Sure you can see at home in high definition. That light mist falling here at Amy Stadium. Mad scramble in the middle.
Not often a bloke can get tackled, taken the ground, and he's got the power to then stand up again while holding the ball. He's a brute, this kid.
There it is. Kind of qualifies as rain, but it's drifting across, hopefully.
Normally the weather has an effect on the game, but the way the game's been played, Dermot, I don't think the rain will worry him. It's been a contested game. It's been a quick kick game. It's probably been a wet weather game anyway.
It's been a hot pace game. Van Berlo to Vince, to Yench, almost straight up in the air, back with the flight. Well done, McKay. Made a contest, but a few heart of the seas. Long bomb towards goal from Callanan.
I'll tell you what, Callanan, I don't know we got a shot of that, but
yeah,
Rory Sloane, Dermot, and that was the exact same kick that Pendlebury did to Beams that Callanan didn't do to Rory Sloane, and that's the difference in decision-making under pressure. I mean, we can't tell from up here whether Callanan saw him, but Rory Sloane was open on the other side of the ground. Bad miss.
Simon Buckley's gone back as a spare man in defence, and that allowed Rory Sloane to be that spare man, and they missed him.
Hacked inside 50, Tippett slides in, gathers, goes, kicks, just misses. That rain a little heavier now, Jacko?
It certainly has, Dwayne. It's starting to pick up. But Kurt Tippett, I've watched his progress over the last couple of years. His ground ball, his ability to bring the ball down and then get it on the second effort is certainly a feature of his game.
There's also the possibility, Roosie, that at 29, Cullinan's been waiting a while for the opportunity.
You don't want to pass a shot at goal,
Not at 29 if you've been waiting till
That's a fair point.
You do pass it if you want to get to 30 as a player, though. Yench to Tippett. Good hands in the wet. We'll line up for number 3.
That's a Goliath mark, isn't it? These conditions. You might have your hands full with him, Jacko, if you were...
Well, I was just watching him, Dermot, from 4 deep. You sometimes talk about lazy forwards who may concede the ball falling down before them getting there, but he just works so hard to get to the front of the pack. And just to add what I said before, he's certainly one player that's really growing in stature.
Have a look at that. Look at the size of his hands over the footy. They're huge.
Buckets Tippett.
His right little finger looks like it's a bit busted too.
Collingwood's led for 84% of the game time.
Oh, no.
Adelaide take the lead back again for the second time tonight, but only by that behind.
I think we touched on before the game the loss of Reid. Probably fullback is the most specialised position on the ground, Dermot. It's a really hard spot to play because you can have a really good game for 90% of the game and have a lapse for 10%. And that 10% is going to cost you 5 goals.
And blown away.
Big pack around this on the wing. Good tackle. Ball tied up in the area. Side bottom. Thomas got his best effort. The Collingwood have a few out, of course. It's not about who's out on a night like this, but Dane Swan, Luke Ball, Chris Tarrant, Nathan Brown, Ben Reid, Brent McCaffer and Ben Johnson. And just for equality, Adelaide without Taylor Walker, and it'd be a different forward line with him in it, given that we're talking about Collingwood's defence.
That really died, Dwayne, on that kick. It dropped steep in the end.
Buckley. So Collingwood kicking with it on that kick alone as evidence. To the back, Cloak. Hasn't seen a lot of it yet. Stroh still hasn't seen much of it.
I'll tell you what the Collingwood have been able to do. They haven't got a lot of reward from it yet, but they've pulled all their forwards up at times, and they've got some space over the back inside their 50. We saw it work once with Goldsack kicking a goal in the first quarter. If they can get some quick ball through the midfield, they're going to have an open forward 50 with forwards running back onto it.
Buckley and Jenkins did well. Pendlebury bumped on the kick. That was enough, Riley.
Brucey, they did that a couple of times in the first quarter, and Didak was the one they were trying to get it to isolate him.
Slow.
Yeah, Jack, I think the Crows need to be a little bit careful, particularly with the wet. Just drop one back. Don't follow your forwards all the way up the ground.
Chaos ball rolls inside 50 to John Cock. Across the face. Thomas lets that go out on the full. It was smart. Collingwood ball, back pocket.
That over the back ball you're talking about, Collingwood had it a few times. Horses for courses. Cloak's a great target until it hits the ground, and then he's quite cumbersome. He's not bad on the ground for a bloke his size, but he is quite cumbersome with getting up and getting it directly into the hands of a teammate.
Williams.
Good work.
Thomas, free or mark, take your pick. It must be a mark then, because he's not allowed to play on to advantage, and you can't play on to advantage from a mark. You can from a free kick. Van Berlo overcommitted into the back.
I tell you what, that ball is going significantly further to the left screen, isn't it, Jacko? Is that a big breeze down there now?
Brucey, just out of ring. It's swirling, and on this inside here, if you get on the centre wing, advantages there to Adelaide Crows right of screen.
Wellingham puts it up. Tippett gets back to lend a hand. Can't mark it. Sinclair found some space where there was none.
Good match up for Collingwood.
Pendlebury's ball. Free kick.
Knew what he was doing the entire way through. And he had Callanan on the wrong side. Callanan just panicked. I mean, Pendlebury, he is a midfielder, but he's 190 centimetres. He's 6'3". Callanan's a little fella. Knew that if the ball goes up, he feels the pressure. He's clawing for position. Have a look at the bottom of the screen. He's facing away from the footy, hanging on. The umpire's going to award that before the ball even arrives.
Having a big year, coming off another 30 possession 4-goal game last week. Can you believe it?
No, I can't actually, because he's such an efficient kick, Dwayne. It's just, I wouldn't have, certainly wouldn't have picked that.
Scores level again. Yench. Dawes and Jenkins. It's game number 3, as I mentioned, for Josh Jenkins. Grew up, looked after by his grandmother on the banks of the Murray River in Swan Hill. Turned to basketball as a 16-year-old. Come back to our game, and AFL might be his game after all. Henderson flicks it wide. Petrenko has to go back to go forward. Riley.
See the tackle count. Van Berlo 9. Now he's matched up against Pendlebury, so I dare say that probably 2/3 of those, 6 of them would probably be against Pendlebury.
Sloan. McKay, good contest, but he's over it. Petrenko tried to squeeze a handball out. Blair. Beams. Sloan, splendid tackle. O'Brien. Game's lifted another gear, and the rain's gone. Stopped raining, but the breeze still blowing in the crowd getting into it.
He's ordering a drink there, fellow.
Just typifies the game, Dermot, at the moment. That passage of play, Sloan busted through 2 Collingwood players to make that tackle. But every player on the ground is just committed defensively when his man gets the ball to make a really fierce tackle.
Turvey with the crumb, kicks to the outer side. And it's a mark.
It's a
Dick
2-on-1.
thought he was about to mark that, and then he was outmarked in the end by Riley.
Adelaide just got to be mindful of their forward 50 entries, because Harry O'Brien's picking them off, so they're just got to be less predictable and try and find an easier avenue to go.
You see them here, 2 players behind him there. There's another one third left of screen at the moment. They've got too many players for my liking actually behind the ball doing nothing in preparation for the outcoming ball should it come. You need all comers involved.
Callanan looks for the pass option this time. Free kick. Buckley might have given this away. Umpire should pull it back. Players don't know it's a free. It's going to right, and he can give Adelaide the lead back, and play continues, even though they've blown the whistle 3 times.
It was the central umpire that came down and
Yes, Simon Meredith, Jacko.
He had the better vision, so he said hands in the back.
Yeah, he was in the middle of the field. It's a free kick. It's a free kick.
And there was a grab of the jumper after, but you have to pay the first one.
Yep.
Because the first one may have caused the hand to go back and grab the jumper.
Well, he started to fall over, so he tried to steady himself because he got pushed in the back.
Now, don't cancel each other out for those two. Not quite sure how the game is umpired in this beautiful game of ours. Matthew Wright has already got one.
Duck of the head that's taken head high cancels each other out, holding the ball too high. That's a good kick. Oh, bad luck.
Just drifted.
That's about as good as you can do at that end at the moment. When it blows like this, Roosie, we played a few state games here. It was near on impossible to kick goals at that end once it got a stiff breeze.
Yeah, it can be a tricky breeze once you come across here. There's no doubt about that.
Straight down the middle, side bottom, under some pressure. Dangerfield didn't take an arm. Almost took Fasolo's leg. And Fasolo dragged down and cheese grated into the deck. Downey. Central ball, hoping for Tippett. Not quite. For pleasure, not quite.
Oh, good pass.
Crows have lifted their rate. Not getting full reward. They only lead by behind, but they're kicking against a slight breeze in this second term.
They've been in ownership of the last 6 or 7 minutes, Crows, and have not put a goal on the board to show for it.
Dangerfield was third man up, but he put it back into the congestion. Clark to side bottom, to Fasolo, to Smith. High bomb. Tippett up early, couldn't pluck it. Thompson does. Fumble from Shaw. Got himself out of a mess.
He's got nothing.
Clark to Willingham, who only had that as his outlet.
Oh,
Clark.
great.
And he spills it.
Yeah, super effort to come up by Cloak, though. He read that ball 100 metres away to make the contest.
Jenkins kick smothered. Van Berlo the fist on. That'll work. If Wright can make it work. Bang forward by McKay. Tippett held. No, against Tippett for a hole.
So it's a really good learning night for Keefe tonight. It's just the ball's coming down. Not uncontested ball coming down, so it's giving Keefe a bit of a chance, but some real mixed bags coming in. He's going to learn a lot tonight, just changing his game from in front, from behind. Tippett is really involved in the game at the moment.
Oh, yeah, he's taking him to the footy as well, which is a bonus for Keefe in the learning phase. You don't want the hurt phase to creep in too strongly, though. Tippett's had 4 contested marks. Collingwood have had 2 as a team. So he's got the skates on.
Wellingham just over the head of Pendlebury. What a race this is. Pendlebury, Dangerfield. Dangerfield corralled by Pendlebury. He didn't want to take him on with foot speed. McKay, and the Crows are now away. Smith, Petrenko, almost run down by Dawes. Poor pleasure. Good back by Thomas. Couldn't mark, but got his hand on it. Short of Tuvey. Makes it somebody else's problem. Didak will do. Had Jacobs to beat, knew was going to beat Jacobs. Sinclair.
That's great skill.
Didak. Away from Goldsack by Henderson. Smith. Sinclair, Yench, all there. Goldsack, little tap out. Buckley. And that could be on the full. It is. It's lived up to all expectations, this one. Second versus 5th on the AFL ladder coming into this, Rosie.
Well, it's not often you see 2 teams just continue the pressure, is it? I mean, it hasn't been a let-off. It's full credit to both these sides. There really hasn't been a let-off from the pressure from either side.
And Rosie, the interchange dates here, their rotations are at an all-time high.
Poor pleasure, ducks back. Almost. John Cock flicks it back. Poor pleasure. Slip in opportune time. Right slipped. Tuvey went down.
Gee, they're miserly, Collingwood's defence. They are under so much heat, and they keep coming up with the goal-stopping saves.
Pendlebury and Sidebottom work together beautifully to Beams. And now Collingwood away in space. But again, no one free to go to. Kicks it boundary side of Cloak. Blair keeps it alive, but goes back to go forward. Beams, possession number 18. Sinclair can't handle it, and it's been hot to handle. Blair couldn't collect it. Riley does. Dangerfield, O'Brien beats him, hands it off. Pendlebury, long towards the square. It could skid on. Thomas gets there in time to make a contest. Gathers, goes, tried to flick it back. Clark on the line, dragged across in front of him. They're taking us down quality street, these 2 teams.
I know it's no real highlight, but we talked about playing in front behind before. Now, if Cloak and Rutten have a foot race over 40 metres, Cloak wins every time. But Rutten ran the angle on him from playing in front and shut down that long kick which went to Cloak at half forward for a 0-0 draw. It's just really clever backline play.
Jacobs clever. Dowdy the fall. And free kick. Dowdy to get it.
It's almost a trip down memory lane, not just quality street. For good one-on-one football, just an excellent contest, a contested footy, hard tackling. You wouldn't be surprised if at half-time the coaches will yell out, "Go in and get it."
Yeah, no game plan. The old play on instinct in the 80s.
And Dwayne, you mentioned the intensity's gone up. Pendlebury's 9 possessions in this quarter. He's leading the charge for Collingwood.
Talia found the boundary with the fist. Growing as a player as well, Daniel Talia. Another player still eligible for a NAB Rising Star nomination, but as a defender, you tend not to get looked at as much as attacking players, goal-kicking players, but he's been solid.
Game number 18 for him tonight.
Yeah. Didak. And here he is on cue. Talia winning himself a free.
It
was off his leg. Okay.
Skid through. He hit him just under the, I think, the right knee.
The umpire's conferring here as to whose knee came off.
Adelaide ball. Adelaide ball.
Wow. Well, we'll get another look at that.
Thanks, mate. You're right on it. You're on the line there.
Yeah, thought it did. That's Talia's leg.
Yeah, it looked like Talia's leg. It was Talia's sock, unless they changed socks.
Tip it. Well, I can't go to the video review for those decisions, if you're unaware.
That's a good result.
Only for decisions that involve a score. Slide from Jacobs to McKay. Pumps it over the head of Dangerfield. He got back, made a contest. Got to be a mark to Tuvey.
Yeah, good play by Tuvey. Really critical ball there.
You know what he did, Rusi? He watched the ball in flight.
Yeah.
He didn't watch his opponent. And sometimes when you're against the really dangerous blokes, you get sucked into wondering what they're doing. Just watch the ball, because it can't change where it's going.
Half-time looming at AAMI Stadium. A ticketed affair, a full house tonight.
And
Scores
that
a
takes
level,
a bit
and
of
that's about right now, Jacko.
Jim, that takes a bit of courage to do that, because when you've got to play like Patrick Dangerfield one-on-one, just shows the class of Tuvey.
Buckley.
Good kick.
Beams. Down to 2 minutes.
If this hits the target, they're a half show here. No.
And that's deliberate. And paid deliberate. Crowd don't like it. Had to be there.
More drinks.
Pops it to attacking 50. Good fist. Callan, little fumble. That's all it takes in a game like this. Thompson, Doughty, they go in hard again. Didak for Solo. Bangs it high, attacking 50. Riley, Thomas. Thomas stole that from Riley. He had first touch on it. Thomas knew, couldn't fool the umpire. Vince, slung. Beams gave it to Didak. Can't bring it back. But Collingwood lead by that score.
Gee.
It's a real good night for Didak Dermot, because he is one that can pull something out of nothing. And I think
Petrenko!
Oh!
Just couldn't hold it. Sorry, Rosie, I saw the wind-up.
That was all right. We missed the how one last week because someone was talking. Don't worry about that.
Clark from outside 50, and that's a little wayward and doesn't score.
Is that the one you say as a defender you wait all your life and you're prepared to have a mark of the year taken over you?
He was on the way down and he had to change his angle with his hands to get him on the footy. Did he crash head first?
I think he stunned himself, yes. Well, he stunned us, but he stunned himself, and he's got a minute and 21 to either get his mind back on the job or get off. Because Adelaide a man down right now. Right to Sloan. Williams. Right. Missed that target. Again, there's a pack around this. It's going to be hard to clear from. Didak does. Blair, manhandled, no free. Beams bursts his way through. Buckley through the congestion, across the face. Not a bad spot for a ball in with 51 seconds left.
So dangerous, these boundary. What did you give you instructions here, Rusi? Watch his head hit. Bang. Oh, yeah, real hard hit. It's like a centering kick, these throw-ins.
Yeah, look, you do. You spend a lot of time setting up forward strategies for your stoppages. So really trying to get your dangerous players around them, get a couple of blocks.
Goldsack, just seconds remaining, weaves his way around McKay, loads up, and that is gold with 29 seconds left.
He has shown a knack over the last month or so of bobbing up with clinch goals. And just, you could read his mind here when he comes in. He's wanting to get onto his right foot. And I'm surprised McKay bought it. He was never going to go inboard on the left. He wasn't going to make the distance. But from the outside on the right foot, you just had to corral him a bit there. But good execution by Goldsack.
Yeah, that's the classic one where you want to corral, not charge and just go at it. The guy steps around you, so make him kick it over your head or make him kick it on the left. That wasn't great play there by McKay.
You charge him if you can arrive at the same time as the ball.
That's right, yeah.
Ball up, seconds remaining in the half, and the half's been played at a cracker pace. Pendlebury, Collingwood, one last chance at a score. Talia, saving mark, just needs to hold on. Smith, Thompson, called to go. Dangerfield. If you joined us late, Collingwood led at quarter time by 1 point, and at half time they lead by 7 points. Adelaide has seen the lead a couple of times, but Collingwood has led for the majority of the night.
Have a look at some of the stats to compare these two teams. Inside 50s, 26-28 in favour of Adelaide. 91-92 are the contested possessions. Overall possessions, Collingwood 189, Adelaide 172. So a little bit more outside ball to Collingwood. Other than that, it is as close as you can get.
Adelaide Crows players gathering. Glenn Jakovich over there to have a chat to Rory Sloane.
Rory, cracking game. How have you assessed that first half?
Yeah, look, both teams are cracking right in these conditions. You expect nothing less than a real hard-fought contested game, and that's what you're seeing.
You've had a big month. You've beaten some quality sides, but Collingwood possess. They're the one you want to beat, eh?
Yeah, they are, and it's in front of a big crowd here. Home games. I don't like losing home games, so I expect us to come out firing in the second half.
Thanks, mate. Enjoy the second half.
Cheers, mate.
Collingwood by 7 points. It's pure footy in all its glory, and it's been a cracker to half-time.
Most of any game this year, which you'd expect watching the game, Derm, wouldn't it? It's a very much a contested possession game.
A lot of time on the deck.
Second half underway. Jacobs and Jolly went at it. Kick off the deck by Riley. Rolls it towards the boundary line, and it pulls up tantalisingly close, and then is taken across.
It looks like it's going to be just some real class acts, Dermot, that'll get a team over the line tonight, won't it? Just a didact goal, or just something.
Foot skill in the forward 50.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Big fist that time by Jacobs. Vince to McKay, 60 from goal, squeezes a pass instead of having a crack. Keefe. Shaw was with him. He needed Shaw on the boundary line. Good tackle by Shaw on Tippett. Gave to Petrenko. Tucked up against the boundary. McKay drifts back and marks.
He was the one who ran through the half-forward line and speared that ball out. You called it rather than having a shot. So he's just charged on, followed it on. Good, solid, hard running.
I'll tell you what, I'd love to know where Sinclair went, because Sinclair was the one that was actually chasing him. Now, he's obviously disappeared somewhere, but I'm not too sure where. So whether Sinclair was his direct opponent coming out of that last stoppage, but you're right, McKay was the one that set up that scoring opportunity for himself, in a sense.
Showing no signs of the corked back that saw him subbed off last week. Relatively easy shot, and can't nail it.
If you look at that, when he kicks it, his left shoulder is about 3 inches lower than his right, so he's always going to slant to that side and pull the ball that way.
And they're the little key possessions that are going to make a difference, aren't they? You're going to have to take your chances tonight.
Sloane floats it up. Petrenko might have another jump. He stays down instead, and it bounces and beats them all. He's learned his lesson, Jared Petrenko, after knocking himself out in the opening half with a huge leap.
Oh, no, when there's a car on offer, you've got to go, don't you?
Clark.
Stat it from here. It's a good shot, that. There's very little movement.
Thomas, Keefe, almost run down by John Cock. Pressure on the kick, though. Talia got there first and pumps it long. Race on. Getting back, Petrenko back with the run.
That was set up by Adelaide's defensive transition. Every single Collingwood player was manned up there. Well, I think it was Keith that had the ball, so there was no easy plays. I'm not sure Dawes' effort was all that flash, to be honest.
It was ordinary, Roosie was right in front of me here. It was good work by Talia, just watching concentrating on the game, reading the play, getting in front.
He's capable of just about anything, young Jared Petrenko. When I say anything, that is the brilliant and the absurd.
Well, he had the yips pre-season, and yet in the home and away season, he's kicked 10 goals too this year. Yips are well and truly over. And Adelaide are back in front.
Yeah, the goal was very much set up by some great defence. And we see here, one-on-one everywhere, but just so there's a bit of a poor effort from Dawes. Didn't really push hard early enough. If he had put in some early quick steps, he would have made a tackle on Talia and brought him to ground without him. Look at that there. Just a little, and they're the little things that are going to make a massive difference tonight. kick over the top. Not a lot that Shaw could do there. It was a terrific kick over the top and a really nice mark going back.
First half was played at an outstanding pace, and the temperature just starting to rise again in this second half. Riley couldn't make something of it. The crowd are finding full voice again. Their Crows are back in front, and they can smell top spot. They'll either be outright top or equal top with a win tonight, the Crows. Hacked forward by Van Berlo, bounce to Petrenko, a shimmy, got it up, for pleasure, outside of the boot, no.
Too much time. That kick is a snap instinctive type kick, and he got too much time to straighten up, and he was still kicking a banana.
Running straight forward of the play, facing the goals, and he kicks outside the boot. I just can't understand that.
I think Jacko, he thought he was going to be forced a little bit away from the goal face on the kick, so he opted for the banana and thought it's going to have to happen within a millisecond. Had too much time, and he kicked it right across the face.
Yeah, just you love to see him do a drop punt. Probably, and that's the implied pressure, I guess, that's on at the moment. But he did have a lot of time and space to really straighten up.
You compare it to Alan Didak, who has got a good left foot.
They can't win the ball at the moment, Collingwood. They've got it in hands now. 16-3 is the possession count.
O'Brien to Didak, long Dawes, who's barely seen it, won't see it here. Almost got an arm slap free, but Talia was clever, takes it to the line, disguised it beautifully.
Just while we wait for this throw, if we can get a replay here, the contest, and see how quick Talia gets to his feet. Watch this. This is really telling. Both go to ground at the same time. Talia's up and into his second or third step before Dawes gets off the deck.
Pendlebury from outside 50, squeezes it to Blair.
Gee, just love the ball in his hands. He does not make bad decisions, and his execution's equal to the decision-making that he has. So if he can get a lot of the ball forward of centre tonight, it's going to make a big difference for Collingwood.
Boos for Jarrad Blair. Seesawing contest to get the momentum back. He started at left and he left at left. It was never right.
I know what you mean, but that's the only side he could go to give it a chance at that end.
If you're going to guide it, if you're really going to kick it, not so bad.
You've got to spear it at that end. Yep. You really do have to punch it in.
Talia is growing before our eyes. Van Berlo to Petrenko, about to pounce Keefe.
Well
left his man, attacked the ball, cut it off. Petrenko shoveled it out. Jacobs, a roller, Callanan, pocket, just couldn't collect it. John Cock didn't either, and he almost fooled me. For a second he was away, and I think Brenton Sanderson thought he was away as well. Two good friends, former teammates Nathan Buckley and Brenton Sanderson going head-to-head for the first time in their coaching careers. Old roommates, and what a contest it's been so far. Umpire calls for it to be knocked out. Blair kicks it out. Almost the pluck. Good attack by Fasolo and a splendid tackle. Sinclair. Talia stole it from him. Jolly, little fumble. Williams got a boot on it. Pendlebury, Sinclair, slippery. Toe poke Clark, got it away from Henderson. Petrenko tried to be clever. Outsmarted himself. Sinclair's away. O'Brien only Cloak to go to. Now Dawes is motoring. He goes to Cloak. Over his head. Goldsack. Cloak should shepherd. Goldsack. Clean pick on the run. Kick not so good.
That passage of play from one end of the ground to the other. No player pulled out of any contest. It's the ground level. It's just fierce. The contested ball win here. Every player going at it.
I like how Goldsack at least he took the risk of straightening up. Wouldn't have known how quick the closing speed of the player is behind him. Could have got shut down, but he just definitely wanted to get onto his right foot.
Riley to Thompson. To Riley. Gets under that. Jacobs. Used his hands and body. McKay. And now Johncock. Tooby just got a knuckle on it. Johncock keeps it alive. Inside 50 in the crowd roar again. Marley Williams in game 1. Couldn't collect it. Sloan, Callan couldn't collect it. Johncock hacks it forward. Vince, Shaw. He's a gun.
Now,
He's an absolute gun, he's Shaw.
Marley Williams will not get a stat for that, but the fact he left his man to just put his body in the contest then, just stop the ball in its tracks, otherwise it would have been another Adelaide kick off the ground that would have gone to the goal square.
Beams off some toes, and Beams coming off a 21 possession first half, if you weren't with us.
Oh, that's gotta hurt.
Yeah, knee in the back of the melon.
It's a good one to do if you know how to disguise it.
Wright tried to squeeze out a handball. Again, it's a game not for the faint-hearted. Two of the best contested possession teams in the comp this year. Adelaide have really lifted their contested possession rate under Brenton Sanderson, and they are the benchmark now for hard ball gets. 38 apiece, halfway through the third. Jolly a palm down. And another ball up, but a good spot for a ball up for Adelaide, especially with Jacobs, who's the #1 ruckman for Palmerston possessions in the comp this year.
That's their contested possession rate as they rank in the league.
Riley against the flow, launches back, misses.
Gives them the lead. We have a look at the contested possession count in this third quarter. Adelaide have skipped out to 18, Collingwood the 9, 32 possessions to 18, 14 more possessions than them, doubling them in contested possession, reflected on the scoreboard. They've kicked 1 goal 4 to 2 points this quarter.
Shaw in Jolly's direction, Jacobs right with him again. Blair off some hands for Solo. Squeeze kick from Pendlebury works.
Ah, well done.
Didak, body on the line. Flicked the handball up. He took the traffic. Goldsack, he heard side bottom's call. Goes to Thomas instead of Clark. Gets it back again side bottom. Clark still waiting for it. Now collects. Collingwood on the charge. Thomas.
Got a switch
Adelaide
here.
by a point. Shaw. And now to the pocket. Blair up early. Off hands Pendlebury. Little fumble, uncharacteristic fumble to Dawes. Needs to do something quickly and doesn't do it here.
Who do you have, Pendle? Did he have Wellingham?
Yep.
Was Wellingham in the... Just a really easy 20-metre kick, Dermot.
Yep.
That's just a player that's struggling to get in the game, Dawes, that tries to do something spectacular rather than do something basic and hit a teammate, lace out.
But what you get given by God in something is that massive body in the legs. Oh, good hands. You give up somewhere else, and the agility of him to get away and get the shot away cleanly is what you give up.
Crowd wanted 50.
It's a good hands, though.
That's a good player at the moment. Josh Jenkins. That wasn't Jerker Jenkins, that was Jezza Jenkins. On a back himself. Off hands, Tuvey. And the boundary line.
And here it is here. Pendlebury gives it, and there is Wellingham, just completely free by himself. Now, it's a tough angle, but you got a chance then to slow the game down, hit Pendlebury. Pendlebury either has a shot at goal or maybe squares it up to someone else.
Beams tied up by Johncock. No prior opportunity, so no holding the ball decision there, ball up. Good attack from both players, as it has been from the outset. Wellingham can't break free. Van Berlo wrapped him up. Dangerfield to the line.
It's worth watching Daisy Williams and that man, Dangerfield. Now, they won't touch each other as the ball gets in, but just on the left-hand side of the screen. Dangerfield will leave, exit go in, and he'll stay on the outside, Daisy Williams, hoping it squeezes out to him. Oh, sorry. Daisy Williams used to play for Essendon.
Keefe over the top. Strangely enough, we knew what you were talking about there.
Yes.
O'Brien to Goldsack. Got down on his knees, but let it go. O'Brien tries to mop up his mess. Sloan shoots it back again. Henderson. Could be ball. Didn't handle that away. Umpires just play on advantage. Buckley, Beams, Didak. Caught. Did he handle that?
Oh, good strength.
Buckley barrels it inside 50. Talia stands under it. Good grab. If not a marker free.
You just can't second-guess your decisions tonight. You watch it, Dermot. As soon as you can sense someone says, "Oh, well, I go there or there," you can't. You got to make that first decision.
Maxwell. Petrenko.
Jeez, he is really looking dangerous, Petrenko. His ability, his pace to actually get to every contest forward of the centre is having an effect.
O'Brien turnover. Little fumble from Dangerfield, but it's been that kind of night.
It does look significantly more slippery after half-time. We didn't see a lot of fumbles in the first half, even though it was raining a little bit, but certainly second half, a lot of fumbles below the knees.
He's left by himself, Dangerfield then.
Willingham rolls it to Goldsack. Caught. Throw. Adelaide free at centre half back. Yep. Yench. Riley. It is slippery. Cut him some slack. There was rain in the opening half, if you weren't with us. McKay. No rain right now, but a cool, essentially perfect evening right now. Through Thompson's hands. Everyone slides in. Now, how will the umpires see that? They all slid in knees first. And Wright got there first. That's the new rule. Slide in knees first, give the free away if there's contact.
You heard Simon Meredith then.
Adelaide have not led by more than a goal tonight. A lead by 1 point now with this kick to come. It's bending, hits the post.
Yep, that's what the rule's there for. I know, Roosie, you're grimacing saying, oh, come on, but
I don't know whether he touched him, did he?
he doesn't have to.
Oh, yeah, look, I must admit, I don't know the rules anymore, so...
To full forward, and Shaw gets back. Certainly wasn't a dangerous slide, but that's the rule. They want to cut out all slides that make contact, not just the dangerous ones.
But the question is, why did he have to slide in? I mean, it was covered by his other teammate. Just hold your feet.
Just to back up on that, the amount of local footballers who have broken legs because of a slide.
Yeah, look,
when you go to local footy,
I don't have a problem with
it is massive.
With a slide, but I don't even think you made contact with him.
From the ball in, Beams to Buckley, and he bangs it to the wing. Willingham's got a couple to beat. Talia had a good third term, made that contest. Sinclair, well, he tried to get a stat. It was touched, luckily for him, ball in.
I think it was, he touched off the boot, or was he out saying he touched it by taking it over before he got the boot on it? Same result. You see, gee, Marty Clark peels off out the back. If they get it into the centre.
Centering kick from McKay, dangerous spot. Slick hands, Petrenko, too slick for Doughty. Right. Yench.
Good hands.
Goldsack can't smother it. That's a 60-metre bomb. Jenkins from 3 deep couldn't mark. Tippett was front spot. Well tackled. Slips a handball up. Crowd wanted Doughty free, and they've been roaring all night. This full house at Amy Stadium. Shaw. Pendlebury. Maxwell. Riley up. Can't mark it. Didak off hands. Almost at full speed, but he was bumped off it. Vince, little fumble as he got it from Smith, but it opens up for McKay. He's got the spare man, Callan. Can he see him? He does. It sits on him a little, bounced off his chest. Wellingham and Collingwood could be away. He goes back. Beams had no one to go to.
Clever hold. Hold it, son.
Williams to Wellingham. Blair. Now the lead comes on 50. And again, it hasn't been Dawes' night. And he slips. And that door shuts. Vince. Poke pass. Adelaide on the march. Callan, a wobbler. Tough to grab. Jenkins trapped it with his toe. Sidestep. Looks up. Rolls it towards goal. And that's almost a win. Better than a behind.
Why? Hey, Jacko, remember we talked about the ground is pretty soft.
Yep.
Richard Douglas is the sub for Adelaide. He's going to have an effect when he comes on because he's such a good, strong runner.
He certainly is. I guess both subs tonight because this game's going to go to the wire.
Tippett, that's ball.
Yeah.
So out of the ruck.
So what I'm getting at with you, Jacko, is he's almost going to be a weapon rather than a replacement for somebody who's injured. Any sign of him warming up yet?
He has been doing a fair bit, but given the tightness of this game, you would think both subs would be activated before three-quarter time or during the three-quarter time break.
Elliott is the sub for Collingwood, so he's in his first game, so he won't have quite the same effect, you wouldn't imagine.
Oh, there's a big difference between the two. One's the best and fairest winner, Richard Douglas, and one's the first game player, Jamie Elliott.
So he'll have to feel his way through it, and he will be as nervous as can be with a greasy ball, slippery hands and the likes, whereas Douglas can run through the lines, give them extra wheels, extra yardage and carry. He's going to be a real weapon in the last quarter.
Van Berlo, a bouncer. Clean bowls, poor pleasure. Williams, the other first gamer for Collingwood, and they've got to tonight. Shovels it towards the line. And Douglas is in good form as well. He hasn't played since round 2 with a hamstring injury, but he kicked 4 goals for Glenelg last week in the SANFL. So he's in hot goal-kicking form, and he's ready to pounce, and he's tested the hamstring well and truly last week.
Oh, well done, Jenkins, just throwing his weight around legally.
Jacobs, Thompson, Henderson, can bang one, gets a long bomb goalward. Oh, the footy gods are smiling on this one tonight. Adelaide lead by 8.
Yeah, what a terrific finish.
It's a cracking game.
It's a great game. Everything's under pressure. One of the few times we see here, a lot of pressure here. Goldsack does the right thing, comes off his man, but his man happens to kick a goal. So it's a tough one. He really had to come to Jacobs because Jacobs was free behind that contest, but as soon as he did, a couple of quick hands found their way out to Henderson, and a lovely finish from outside 50.
Rosie, just want to ask you, with Cloak and Dawes, I've had 4 possessions between them. Is it time that they change it up Collingwood a bit because they're having no
Jacko,
impact?
just have a look around to the side of you. Is there an interchange indiscretion here?
50 metres. 50 metres. Interchange free. 50 metres.
Hold on. Tell him not to kick it.
Yeah, don't kick it yet, though, Darren.
Until we hear the...
Don't kick it.
Yeah, the chime's
I've heard the chime.
So we'll search for that, but the bottom line is it's a Collingwood free for an Adelaide interchange indiscretion, and it's a 50-metre penalty for Collingwood and a free from where the ball was, which was in the middle of the ground.
And that's a real momentum killer. Adelaide have been on top a fair bit in the last 5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah. It's a pretty solid set shot for a big fella too, isn't he?
Normally is, yeah.
We'll show you what it was for shortly, but all eyes on Jolly's kick, and he can't make them pay full price.
First kick for the quarter for him. Let's have a look. 2 Adelaide Crows players come to the bench. 1 off, 2 off. And John Cox steps on. 2 off, 3 on. And that's the 3rd off after John Cox.
So that wasn't just a millimetre or a metre, that was a good 10 metres.
John Cock looked like he was pointing to the guy that was coming off.
He's coming off, but he's too slow. I'm going anyway.
I'm going anyway.
I think you can do that at Mallee Park, where it came from originally, but you can't do it in the AFL.
I don't know if you can.
You don't think you can do that at Mallee Park? Collingwood with a run on here against the flow. Side bottom, a little flick. Sinclair looks inboard. Clark stands under it, got it.
I tell you what, though, it definitely has given Collingwood a sniff. They've hardly had 4 or 5 possessions in a row in this quarter. They've owned it now for the last 30, 45 seconds.
Side bottom leaps for Solo with front spot. Blair Crumbs. Buckley. Stand start from 55. Thomas couldn't get the run that he wanted. Talia attacks it with Sinclair and he took him down and took it to the line.
He's playing a game and a half.
He certainly is, Dermot. This third quarter, he's really stood up to the challenge and just attacking the ball no matter who's he on, what's happening. He's just going at the football.
And he could well get that NAB Rising Star nomination that he hasn't received yet. Was under the 10-game limit and the 21-year-old limit. Started this year. Blair outside the boot, almost.
The
skimmed the post. And he's bleeding from the ear. That's a big bleed for that incident.
Oh. Bernie Vince has done a bit tonight. Knee to the back of the head, elbow to the side of the ear.
Yeah, that's a reasonable amount of claret there, so that'll probably be looked at, I would have thought.
Yeah. Rutten. 3 minutes 40 left on the clock. Adelaide by 7. Jolly and Jacobs. Smith.
If they win tonight, Bernie might have the opportunity to go celebrate with his mates.
Maybe. I tell you, you're right, Dermot, even though Jolly didn't kick that goal, it was a bit of a momentum changer. Prior to that, Collingwood had real trouble getting it over forward to their centre, but they controlled the last 2 minutes of the game.
They had no chains of possessions.
Well, he hasn't had to come off yet. The umpires haven't seen the blood. Maxwell to Turvey. So it's still 18 on a legal 18 right now as Collingwood go forward for Solo.
Well done, Dawes. He's drawn 2 opponents with him.
Thomas! Almost. Yench. Dangerfield. And here he goes. That spirited run from defence and a big 70-metre kick to Johncock. He's got Tippett inside 50 and he goes for goal himself. And kicks out on the full.
Tippett had his man, Keith, done. Yep. Completely done cold. We get the footage behind the goal. We can see how Tippett led up the middle when we get a chance or a break in play, and he had him cold.
Yeah, that's got to go for a goal, Dermot. You're absolutely right. That broke the game open, that long kick into Johncock. It was Keith versus Tippett. No one else inside forward 50 for either team.
And wrong-footed him.
Wrong-footed him, came in front, just an easy 30-metre pass by Johncock. Bad decision.
Jolly good strength. Clark. 2 minutes left to three-quarter time. Talia used hands. Umpire said it was illegal. Hands into Dawes back.
Jacko, I think you were touching on Dawes and Cloak before, mate. Look, from my point, just keep competing. You know, you can't get outmarked. You can't drop your bundle if you're either of them.
Side bottom got an arm slap, sorry Roosie, but side bottom's ball.
Yeah, and look, that sort of stuff, that's all they need to keep doing. It's not a great night for forwards, Jacko. So as long as we saw Talia run off Dawes early in the quarter, as long as that doesn't happen, I just want the big fellas, Dermot, to keep on competing. Bring the ball to ground, create a contest, and get the ball down to Didak, Blair, guys like that to score.
Roosie, with 2 minutes till three-quarter time, are you tempted to sub Dawes out?
The only problem, which probably Jolly could do a whole last quarter by himself, the problem you got subbing Dawes out, here's your backup ruckman.
But you have a look at this from behind. The behind shot is he needs to kick the ball about half a metre inside the goal face from the left-hand goalpost, and then it will swing left to right. Oh! Swung left to right.
He caught it well. He caught it exactly as it was.
Yeah, he probably hit dead centre. He probably left his boot going, tracking dead centre of the goals.
Sloan. But if anything, Collingwood coming home with a slight breeze. They've only won 2 of their 8 last quarters this year, the Magpies. Pluck from poor pleasure. Adelaide with a chance at a late score. Collingwood led by 2 goals early tonight, but the margin's been inside 2 goals for the game since then. And Adelaide have a 1-goal lead in the shadows of three-quarter time. Collingwood free on the wing.
Brandon Sanderson's on the boundary just coaching here, obviously, for three-quarter time, but he's urging all players to fill the hole with only 30 seconds to go.
It looks like he's just about... Sorry, Jack. It looks like he's just about on the ground, Dermot Tando.
Dawes.
Oh, yeah,
and that's the tail of his night.
He's out of touch. He didn't know whether a chest mark or hands. And
well, he's urging them to get back because they conceded a goal just on half-time, and they don't want to do that again because it'll be scores level.
Collingwood led by a point at quarter-time and by 7 points at half-time. 2-goal turnaround in this third term, Adelaide's way.
Sorry, Dwayne, I just noticed an official from the AFL walked out to Sanderson, actually walked down to the Adelaide official and asked for Sanderson to come back away from where he was.
Beams to side bottom, maybe one last chance for Collingwood. Thomas stood under it, ball thumped towards the boundary, and with 5 seconds left, the ball in.
this is quite possibly the best game I've seen live this season so far. As I said, Brucey, no great highlights. As a contest between two top-of-the-tree teams, it's got it all.
Yeah, absolutely. Great game.
Second versus fifth on the AFL ladder. Both teams searching for top spot with a victory tonight. Adelaide at three-quarter time by 6 points. I wouldn't be going far.
Given interchange infringement. Not sure about those rules, but yeah, that's interesting vision.
Well, you've pressed those rules about entering fields in the arena of late, Brucey.
No,
you would
Jesse
know.
White. That was Jesse White, not me.
Final term of this top-of-the-table clash underway. A bang wide.
Good lead up.
Goldsack couldn't quite find the handle. Beams. Clark. Wobbly torpedo inside 50. Dawes beaten again by Talia. We head downstairs, Glenn Jakovic.
Dwayne, interestingly, both clubs did not activate their sub at three-quarter time. The intensity in the three-quarter time huddles for both clubs was enormous. Looking forward to this last quarter.
See, I'm a bit with you, Dermot, with Douglas. I mean, gee, when the game's so close and tight, there's always a worry that if you get an injury after you activate the sub, but Douglas is a quality class player that with this game would really suit someone of his capabilities.
Maybe at three-quarter time they've told somebody, you've got 4 minutes, 5 minutes, that's it.
Yeah.
Callanan.
The old pull your finger out.
Well, the old give us 5 of your best and then you're off.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, pull your finger, that's play on not far enough. Out on the ground, I just pressed my finger into it and went into the second knuckle. Now that is the softest ground I've seen this season. It's going to take a bit of a toll on these boys running.
There's Adelaide 2012 version in a nutshell. They hunted that down with pressure and gained possession. Thompson to Johncock in the pocket.
Oh, he sneaked out the back door then.
Central ball. Petrenko, tough one to mark. Little nudge on Thomas.
I'll tell you what, the ability of both sides, we've touched on it all night, Dermot, to make an effort to get to a contest that looks like it's done and dusted. You know, it looks like a ball's going to be marked. All of a sudden you'll see a Crows player cut in front. You'll see a Collingwood player make a tackle. The defensive actions tonight have been exceptional.
An early opportunity there for Johncock wasted. A game like this is going to take cool heads and make the right decisions.
Well done by Goldsack. A lead up a game to give relief. A relief target to the half-back player. That should be a free.
Got away with it and Dawes a possession, but again, it's not a decisive one.
He's involving himself without getting stats on the board. Well done.
Didak, good centering kick, hits the spot. Pendlebury the collect, slips the tackle, bends it around the body. That could be priceless.
He is a star.
You called it, Brucey. You said it was going to take something exceptional in skill to separate these two teams. This bloke, with that passage of play, you could argue has claims on right now, given that we've got Ablett, given that we've got some extraordinary players playing in this competition, the freakish skills of Rioli and the likes. This bloke is at the top of the tree.
Yeah, I tell you, if you're a Collingwood supporter, it must be an absolute pleasure to come week in, week out and see this fella play. But I did like the contest too. You touched on it. The contest from the big fellas. 2 contests there from Dawes and Cloak, and then Didak's class to get it out the front of Pendlebury.
Scores level again. 44,500 on the edge of their seats right now. A full house. And they're watching the game they were hoping to get. Didak. Blair. Didak. Cut off. Rutten. Fumble. Adelaide under some pressure and he gets a break. Pushing the back to Rutten.
Now we see how Adelaide run and spread. This is it. They roll away from him. This is where Douglas, if he comes on, he's going to give them that fresh set of wheels to actually run hard into space. And maybe Collingwood can't catch him.
Maxwell. Not it low enough. Collingwood has won its last 7 games here at AAMI Stadium. It has not lost to Adelaide for 6 years, Collingwood.
Sure, they travel well, don't they?
What about the breeze, Jacko? Is that a factor in the last quarter?
I think it's dropped, Roosie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has certainly down here. Jamie Allen's just taken off his green vest, guys, so expect him to be into the game very soon.
Flick back by Sinclair was clever. Tackle was just as good. Flicks it up, but he missed Didak. Doughty got a shin on it. Thomas at full stretch. Dawes on 50. This could be his big moment.
And here's a monster kick. Accuracy, yeah, he's hit or miss. Get it up there, give it a ride. Little bit of that breeze, as Jacko said, it's dropped off, but it is as he watches it go away from him, it'll bend a bit right to left. Hits it sweetly, it'll go.
Had an ugly year in front of goal. He's kicked 4 goals, 8 this year, and a few out of bounds on the force. He has barely seen it tonight. With so many stars, if it's not their game, they make it their moment. But he can't make it his. Collingwood in front by behind.
Dwayne, Jamie Allen activated into the game for Fasola. Alex Fasola out of the game.
Thanks, Jacko. So the first gamer, Jamie Elliott from Euroa, gets his big chance in one of the biggest games of the year. And there he is.
He's a little whipper, didn't he?
There's still no sign of Douglas. It looks like he's still got the tracksuit on down there, Jacko, is he?
Yes, he certainly still has. He's actually in the race here, just doing some handball drills. So he's ready to go.
You have a look at young Elliott, you'd swear he'd be agile and quick because there's not a lot of him.
Back into play. Dangerfield. Couldn't make something of that. Blair. Thomas. Pendlebury. Touch the call. McKay left it behind and it works. Yench. Jacobs. Riley. A wobbly bomb. Shaw. Got a hand on it. Right. Knocks it to his own advantage. Again, it's a hot ball to win, and it's been a hot all night, and Pendlebury just keeps on winning it. Bang! Buffeted Clark, dispossessed. Jenkins tries to burst free. Tuvey in the congestion. Trying to build a ship in the bottle, some of these players. No room to move. Jenkins to half forward. Jump towards the boundary by side.
He saw Keith.
And we'll get a ball in, and he is. Keith's hurt. He's holding his knee.
The umpire cited that it is causing him a lot of pain.
He's in trouble.
Oh, yeah. Watch, he gets pushed onto his right. Gee, it's hard to pick from there. I reckon it's done on the push.
Just collapsed on him, didn't it?
Just given way. Looks like it's given way.
Yeah.
As you've heard,
That
Richard
one
Douglas
there.
into the game.
Just as he planted, wasn't it?
Let's hope it's just a pinch on a cartilage or something like that, which can seriously hurt. So that's going to put a spanner in the works down back, though.
Well, they've already got a long injury list. We've talked about it earlier tonight. They've got some of their superstars like Dane Swan, Luke Ball out, but some of their defenders, Tarrant not playing, Brown, Reid not playing. Ben Johnson, their delivery man from defence, and there it is.
Yeah,
Keith
just
might
gave
not
way.
be available for a while either.
And we spoke earlier just what a powerhouse that Tippett is. He's using body going for the footy. In a legal sense, just pushes him to compress that outside of the right knee.
And now, if they had their sub available, they'd activate it now, but they've activated it 5 minutes maybe too soon.
Yeah, good point, Dwayne. And I think just after, Jack, Elliott came on, I think Douglas came on
Richard
as well,
Douglas has been activated again. Graham Johncock activated out.
Yeah, really good. And you can see why coaches are now reluctant to use that sub, because you just can waste it. Not waste it, because you're never wasting a fresh player, Dermot, but particularly if a player then comes off afterwards. So it's a really tricky situation for coaches to find themselves.
It's not a waste, it's a disadvantage.
Yeah, it is. And it's almost seemed like that Sanderson was waiting for Buckley to make his move and then thought, OK, well, if they get an injury now, they're in trouble. So if we make Douglas and we get one, it's even again. So probably a real tactical move there by Sanderson to use his sub after Bucks has used his.
What do we do now? Do we push Goldsack back? He's defended before. He's around 6'3". He's not a massive guy, but I don't know if he's going to be capable of taking on Tippett. You'd almost say, right, Maxwell, you go back, and that's a big ask as well. And Goldsack, you try and take Jenkins at centre half back. So they've got to. Gee, in terms of size and shape, it's shuffling the deck chairs on the Titanic down there. If the ball comes in nicely, high, and to advantage of forward.
Yeah, the only one that's size-wise would match up is Dawes, and Dawes hasn't played down back at all. So that's probably even a bigger risk than taking Goldsack down there, because you need those natural defensive instincts, of which Goldsack has. He has played on some big bodies before, but he's played mainly as a forward this year, so I doubt whether they will use Dawes to do it, but he is the one that could match up body size for body size. Yeah, disappointing. Yeah, it's been terrific this year. He's really improved. I spoke to Rodney Eade about him last Monday night, just inquiring about him, his development. They were really pleased with the way he's going. He's been a really important player for him without Tarrant this year. Reed's gone out, so look, let's just hope that it's not as bad as perhaps we think at the moment. You know, when a guy gets taken off on a stretcher like that, you obviously think the worst. Let's hope that it's not that. Let's hope that it is something a fair bit better than what perhaps it looks at the moment.
Bye not far away for both these teams, so they get a chance to get a few injured players and recovering with Adelaide. They have Fremantle next week, and then their bye, and Collingwood have the Gold Coast next week, then Melbourne, and then they have their bye.
Just an answer to on this. The car does not go down the visitors' race. It will not fit.
Yeah.
If you were to go to the other side of the ground, if it was an Adelaide player, they can drive him straight off and straight into the rooms, literally. Here, now we have to wait for the car to go back to that Adelaide side of.
And Jim, it's fair to say, if you do pinch a cartilage, which I think you have done in the past, it's more painful than, I guess, if you've done an ACL.
Yeah, they hurt. Yeah.
There is Adelaide's next 4 games. Fremantle, well, next 3 games with that bye that I was talking about. Fremantle in a week's rest. They could be in top spot by that bye. And for Nathan Buckley, they could be equal top tonight as well if they win this and other results go their way. And then the Gold Coast and Melbourne.
So that man there has put Maxwell to Tippett, a huge ask. He's gone with Goldsack back to centre half back now.
This game's been played at a breakneck pace from the outset. 15 minutes left. It's get on and hang on. Top spot on the ladder up for grabs. Free kick, Collingwood back pocket.
What that does too, which is difficult for Bucks to do, or the defensive coach, it takes Maxwell away from that third man, that defender that can release, and it makes him really a one-on-one defender, which is not a great one-on-one defender, Maxwell.
And there's a one-on-one to illustrate it. Tippett beat him. Vince, poor pleasure. High inside 50. Tippett attacks it. Took Harry O'Brien's arm.
Tell you what, if he cannoned into him then and took him out, they would not want to lose one more defender, Collingwood. just like a corked back or buttock or something like that type of contest. Well done, Harry. Wore a big one in the back of the head.
Crowd roaring. Adelaide win it back. No mark to Vince. In fact, it was McKay. Play on was the call. To the outer side, and Talia again with a fist away from Dawes, and again Dawes is irate.
You just sense with this opportunity, Adelaide Crows get the next goal, the 19th man being their crowd will really give them a lift.
Nine centimetres the difference now between Tippett and Maxwell if the high ball comes in a one-on-one.
Henderson. High ball doesn't come high enough and long enough. First game of Williams stumps it out.
It just seems to have taken a little bit of the sting out of Collingwood. They're down by a point, but we're just reading signs out on the ground. They have had no ball rush forward for Collingwood for quite some time.
Williams bangs it towards the wing and it rolls out, not deliberate, ball in.
And Harry O'Brien looks like he's dropping back at the stoppages. He's back inside defensive 50, standing in front of where Maxwell, here he is there, he's talking. He's standing in front of where Maxwell and Tippett is, so he'll try and go third up every time, give Maxwell a bit of a chop out.
Beams to Blair. Collingwood players run. Thomas couldn't quite get away. Beams. Blair again to his own advantage. Tucked up against the boundary, collects, kicks. Wellingham also tucked against the boundary. Disciplined centering kick. Goldsack goes up. Jacobs goes up. Hits the deck. Side bottom. Shaw just slipped on the kick. And it rolls through for a behind. Collingwood by 2.
It'll be really interesting if Adelaide make an adjustment and keep Harry O'Brien honest, because I think a one-on-one contest, a genuine one-on-one between Tippett and Maxwell, certainly very much in the Crows' favour. But if O'Brien can get off his man and help out Maxwell, that's what Buckley will be looking for from a Collingwood point of view.
Thompson to Rutten. McKay. Plenty of time left. Players know it'll be a long quarter. Hugs the boundary. Jenkin, Tippett, neither could mark it. Goldsack shrugs that tackle, throws it away. Sinclair attacked that beautifully. Wellingham kept it in front. Looks up, past target. Thomas, Blair, Beams. Is that a big night at the office? Can he complete the deal? Collingwood by 8.
Yeah, that started, Dermot. I think you called it. They started with a Sinclair attack on the footy then. And there's some really nice, clean Collingwood. Here it is here. A clean take from Wellingham. This is Thomas, I think it is. A clean take from Thomas. No fumbling. A clean take from Blair and another one from Beams. Yeah. Not one fumble amongst those 4 possessions. And that was the difference in scoring a goal and not scoring a goal. Lovely finish from Beams.
Got to take my hat off to young Sinclair, the way he ran up that footy. There's a lot of players in the league, not a lot, there's some who probably wouldn't have gone as hard at that moment. Risked his own safety there.
2 best contested possession teams in the competition, and there's 1 contested possession between them to this point of the game, as you saw. Vince. Tippett. Can't mark it. Right, he crumbs it. Flick forward by Yench. Might go the way. Touch through. And Tippett's cramping.
Is that Shaw versus Jacobs in the goal square? That was a terrific effort by Heath Shaw.
He's a really good one-on-one player. People think he's a good chain type player who gets in the link and he's very smart, but he's deceptively good in the one-on-ones.
Dowdy crashed the contest but knocked it down to Dale Thomas. Dawes can't mark. He's about to crumb it though. Wellingham might get there first. Toes it off the deck. Fortuitously. It goes through. The gods are smiling on Collingwood.
Yeah, Dermot, that was another clean take from Thomas. But have a look at this. This is a great effort from Shaw. I mean, look at the height difference between, and you touched on it. What a terrific effort. He is a good one-on-one defender, and here it is, just Wellingham off the deck, and that's just one of those ones that's a bit of a hit and hope. Although he did look at the goal and he angled in that. I tell you, it was a key possession from Thomas again on the wing, though. No fumble again. They've been really clean in the last couple of minutes, the Pies.
This game, to me, is a little bit like a golf tournament. You want to be the clubhouse leader, but the blokes who are coming second at the moment have the game to chase down this lead. This game has gone in ebbs and flows, and they're still capable.
Thomas with the important clearance. Sinclair beaten by Yench. That's a big win.
I'll tell you what, Dwayne, Daisy Thomas, that's 9 possessions this quarter. Really important quarter footy from him.
And in true footy time, we've had less than 10 minutes of football time.
And Rizzy, this will be a great learning experience if obviously Collingwood get up. But for the Adelaide Crows players, you're talking about Daisy Thomas there. They've hardened players. They've played in big games, and that's something that Adelaide will grow in the next year or so.
First game at Jamie Elliott gets his first touch in AFL footy. Puts it to the pocket.
That's
Crow fans call for a free. The umpire's thinking about it. It's ball. Collingwood fans get what they yelled for. And it's on.
You've got to make an attempt.
I'll tell you what, you've got Sloan hasn't had a touch yet. You've got Paul Pleasure on 1, Dangerfield on 1, and you go up the list, Riley 2. So they just haven't been able to get hold of the footy. Adelaide 37 possessions, Collingwood 56.
Big kick this. And he misses. And he's lucky to have scored. Crows get a break, but it's still the biggest lead of the game to either team. 14 points. The two old friends, the two old roommates, head-to-head for the first time. What a night at the office. Jenkins, arm slap free. Jacobs plays on. Thompson floats it forward.
That's a big panic hit.
Callanan makes the contest. Turvey right with him. Searches for the line and some help. Gets some in the form of Shaw. Had it but dumped. Thompson had it but lost it. Slaps it out to Douglas. The sub gets one for too high. Vince played onto advantage, but the umpire didn't let him. It'll come back.
It's extremely important here for Adelaide to keep their structure. That kick by Thompson was a poor kick. They're lucky to get out of it, but there's plenty of time still for them to win it, but they've got to stay disciplined with their structures.
It was a panic kick, wasn't it, Jagger? Callanan had to mark that. I mean, that was Sinclair. Sinclair goes for it. Callanan let it bounce and opted for a bit of self-preservation. This moment, you got to go it.
Tippett, he stayed down. And he just scrapes it through for a behind.
So the difference in the game has just been maybe that absolute class at the moment, isn't it? I mean, it's just been such a close game, but it's been a couple of Pendlebury touches, a couple of Shaw touches, a couple of Thomas touches in this last quarter. That's really been the only difference in the game so far.
Well, I reckon it might be going out the other side. There we go.
Jolly's out there. Ball thumped away, it eludes Pendlebury. Kicking in danger. It is deafening out there right now. Full house. All ticketed affair tonight, and they have roared with every possession. And Cloak takes it to the line. And there's another deafening roar. Football in all its glory.
Gee, there's not many around the pack.
From the flick down. Beams. Didak. Sideball. Thomas.
Young Elliott could win it here.
Dowdy got a fist on it. Beams collects. Thomas. And it was 15. Didak marks.
Just noticed a couple of the Collingwood players playing basic football. The forwards are playing in front. And Adelaide are just dropping off. They've got to stay disciplined to the structures.
So Didak worked really hard.
Yeah. I think Didak's been important this last quarter, Dermot. I was just going to say that. And Thomas has now got 11 possessions.
Well, Didak was involved back flank on the defensive side of that boundary line throw-in and made a beeline sprint for the forward line to get him being the next number into the contest. It's tailor-made for him.
One of their former match winners trying to find his old form again. He gives it plenty of shoe. It's low. Didak's back.
Yeah, I think so, Dwayne. I think it's a good call. I think it's been an important night for Didak tonight. He looked a little bit rusty early, just finding the tempo of the game, but he's had some really important... But this is a guy that's turned the game, Daisy Thomas, in the last quarter. He's been absolutely exceptional, 11 possessions. Another clean take. They've been really clean the last quarter, and this is a great finish from Didak. And this is the thing that separated the two teams, just that absolute class of Collingwood.
He's one of the few blokes who can get the ball not spinning perfectly in a drop punt and still get 60 metres carry on it.
Biggest margin of the game, 19 points. Time is of the essence now for Adelaide. No clearance to either side, ball up.
Yeah, they just haven't been able to get hold of football, Dermot. I mean, Douglas has just come on, but he's got one. Jenkins one, Paul Pleasure one, Dangerfield one, Smith one, Callanan one, Mackay two, Rutten two, Riley two. The list goes on. Adelaide, they just haven't had the football in this last quarter.
They've won their past 5 games in a row, Adelaide. They have not lost a game at Amy Stadium this year. They're staring at defeat right now. Riley, Douglas, Yench, kick and hope. A drop from Wellingham. That could be Adelaide's break. Williams gets there first though. Dangerfield hasn't really been able to have an impact, but gets a free. And look at the crowd.
Gee, the other lad, the first game of Marley Williams, has been given a bit of responsibility tonight, and he's come through.
Yeah. Tippett, another contested mark for him. No one's in the square. He sees that now. He loads up from outside 50.
Flick the woodwork.
Yes.
Jeez,
Yeah, that was a terrific kick. Yeah, great mark. Yeah, that's that one-on-one contest that we expect Tippett to beat Maxwell at. He played on. It was just a...
But he played on. It was good football smarts. And he wasn't much on, but he took the game on and tried to obviously win it off his own boot, or kick the goal off his own boot, which is great initiative for him.
Van Berlo just off the bench, fresh, gives to Jacobs, gives to Smith. O'Brien, fantastic use of the body, for sure. It's an even 3-goal game right now. Collingwood inspired though. Thomas, Goldsack. Back to Thomas. Shoots it wide, clever, Didak. I've seen this before.
I tell you, was that Thomas Dangerfield over the far side?
Yeah, awesome running by Daisy Thomas.
That was outstanding.
Ground level, Roosie, and exactly, he was with Dangerfield, but through the middle of the grounds. That's hard gut running at the latter stages of this game.
Now, he's only got 4 possessions in this last quarter compared to Daisy Thomas's 13. But he sure's been really important as well. His ability to skid past the ball on half-back line, receive it, and then kick. They've all been kicks that have gone to a target.
Kick one from here moments ago. Can't do it this time. Might be a handy behind. It's 19 points with 5 minutes left. Henderson. Tippett's come up to the wing. Almost the mark or the arm slap to Jolly. Clark wrapped up by Petrenko. No prior opportunity. Umpire will have to sort it out.
Now, if we pull away and have a look at the spread of players here, see on the right-hand side of the screen, that's Heath Shaw. Now, he's pointing, directing, he's saying who needs to play where. He's the general. He's actually the brains in that back line. He thinks the other players through their directions and what they have to do.
Flick out, but Doughty, dispossessed by Thomas, is playing his heart out in this final term. You'd expect nothing less. Thompson back against the run. Dawes a flick. Slime the tackle on Blair.
Well, they haven't lost the appetite for the contest, Adelaide. But they've gone down in the contested possession this final quarter, 32-21. So they're 11 adrift there. They just, as you say, they haven't been able to get the ball, first hands on the ball when the ball's in dispute and give it to their runners on the outside.
Dangerfield gets it back. Van Berlo to the wing. Time against them now.
Now this is where they need to make a tactical change, Dwayne, from the box. You need to get all your forwards back now. All your forwards back in the goals. They need to get less numbers around the stoppers, which goes against what they've been doing for the first 6 or 7 weeks, Dermot. But that's the only way. The only way they're going to win this game. They can't win the game with these amount of numbers around the football.
You need a quick break away from the congestion, and you've got to roll the dice.
And it also allows Harry O'Brien free, Jacko, in front of you. So if you've got to get your 6 forwards now back inside your forward 50, open up your stoppages. That's what you have to do as a coach.
Adelaide have to do here what Port Adelaide did with 3 minutes 50 on the clock last week. Douglas.
Go again, Douglas.
Jenkins flicks it. Callan toes it. Douglas toes it. But they'll get a ball in. 3:39 left.
Now this is those ones. As a forward, right now, you'd be, look at that mass of players.
Yeah.
Which means if you get the ball in there, you've got a half a second to do something with it. Less traffic, you might get a second. So you try and pull your opponent away, making space.
Clark stood his ground. Henderson toes it back. Williams dispossessed. Beams.
So when Keith went off, I thought, I held fears for Collingwood that they could do this. But the resilience of this club is, if there's a metre for it, it's at an all-time high. This is an extraordinary performance, and it's great to say that they've shown real heart. In an era of so many tactics, real heart wins out than
Sloan drags down Harry O'Brien. Tooby takes it to the line, but we're down to 3 minutes.
And the class players have stood up, as you mentioned, Pendlebury and Daisy Thomas, but even spread, Dermot, amongst the second-tier players, just workmanlike. They knew they had to get the job done, and at this stage they look like they're going to get to the line.
Tooby lost it. Vince spun out of trouble, then into trouble. Calnan couldn't make something of it, and Shaw takes it to the line again. They've played 6 new players this year. 6 debutants in 2012, Collingwood, and 2 of them tonight. It's been a massive performance by them away from home, where Adelaide has not lost all year. Side bottom.
I'd love to get a video of some of the key contests in this last quarter, Dermot, because there hasn't been a fumbler in the Collingwood football team. Once again, I think it was Blair there that took that ball without a fumble, which allowed them to get the ball outside 50. And that's been the key difference in the last quarter. They're clean. They're so clean below their knees in this last quarter.
Blair again. Wellingham, side bottom, the usual suspects. Blair hassles his way to the ball and he makes Betteridge. Rutten trying to take it to the line, but he's spent.
Yeah, but he's gone.
Side bottom. Goldsack.
Well, he's centre-half back, Goldsack. I reckon he's legitimately, I know we get a big swarm of players follow the ball down, but I still think right at this moment he's playing centre-half back against Jenkins. You say right, the other one, I mean, Pendlebury's always got clean hands, but Beams' hands below his knees and his strength is between his knee and his hip, that power to keep his feet, clean hands on, dish off or kick has been excellent.
The wasted 30 seconds, as good as a goal there. 1 minute 26 left, and the crowd are departing. The full house not full anymore. It'll be their first loss at Amy Stadium this year. And what a performance by Collingwood. 7 of their best 18 not playing tonight. And they lost Keith just after they used their sub, Nathan Buckley. A new kid on the block.
He's done really well.
Dangerfield. Again, can't break free of Pendlebury. Arguably now the best player in the competition. Having an outstanding season, and he's had another outstanding night. And on cue, gets a clearance. Sinclair floats a little. Elliott stands under it the first gamer, couldn't jump onto it. He's waiting for it to come out. Cloak keeps it in there.
It's amazing, isn't it? I mean, we were marvelling at three-quarter time how close the stat with the biggest discrepancy was the interchange. It was 117 to 110. Everything else was so close, and it comes down to about 3 moments in a game that has separated these two teams.
Douglas to Talia. Buckley there, Maxwell there, tip it all the way up to half-back.
I think this win's going to give Collingwood an enormous amount of confidence. We saw it about round 18 last year. They were the dominant team in the competition. They fell away because of injuries, suspension, etc., etc. Still made the grand final. But I think this shows why most people consider them probably the most talented team in the competition. Dwayne, you mentioned they've got a number of players
Elliott
out.
flies, can't take the mark. Side bottom, sorry, Rosie.
Right.
There's your full stop. There's your heartbreaker.
And again, that's just the class, Dwayne, the class of Collingwood. And you take your hat off to Thomas 13 in the last, Sidebottom 9 in the last, Beams 8, Didak 8, Blair 7, Pendlebury 7, great fly. But this finish, and that's really been the only difference in the game. You've still got to give credit to the Crows. They've had a real dip for the whole night. But what we're seeing tonight is the might of Collingwood and the power of Collingwood and an excited Nathan Buckley.
And those pictures of Nathan Buckley paint 1,000 words, don't they? That is pure joy. And it's been pure footy tonight in all its glory. And the Collingwood fans away from home have seen one of their performances of the year. Hacked forward with just seconds remaining. Poor pleasure the free, but the siren sounds.
Take a ping, kick a low talk. Maxwell, ever the professional, goes back to the goal line. Because if one they can't lose, but if one trickles through, look at him, shake the hand, but he'll be watching that footy, because if one trickles through, 8-point or a 6-pointer even, it all adds up at the end. It doesn't get anywhere near it, but that's the professionalism you have to have at this level, and he exudes it.
They are arguably the grandest of all the grand old clubs, Collingwood, but this is a new Collingwood. 6 wins in a row under Nathan Buckley, the reinvented, rejuvenated, reincarnated Collingwood Football Club by 26 points. 6-13-49 to 10-15-75. And Glenn Jakovich is with Alan Didak.
Yes, I certainly am, Dwayne. 21 possessions. He kicked a beautiful goal in the last quarter. Mate, it was a titanic tussle, real tight, but you came good in the last quarter there.
Oh, that's all right. You rate yourself against the best, and we come out and played tonight and really stuck it out for 4 quarters, and that's what you have to do against the best teams, and we did that, and what a great win.
Alan, have noticed 7 of your best 18 out of the side, but the even spread of your middle range players really stood up tonight, felt, when the game was there to be won.
Well, that's right. We've got great depth. We've got a lot of players out. Some can't come back in this season, but it just shows that you put a lot of time and effort into these young kids. They can become good players.
Your defensive pressure has been a hallmark over some years, but I guess in the last quarter there, you kept Adelaide goalless. I mean, it's really starting to gel together now.
Well, that's right. Early on in the season, we're probably leaking too many goals, and slowly we're getting better and better, and showed tonight that if we stick it out for 4 quarters, we can be a good team.
Alan, well done. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, mate.